Incoming mail.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's market color session. Hi, Mr. Moyo. Good morning. It's been a while I saw you here. Good to have you on board. Hi, Olutayo, Toby, admin, the rest of us on YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How has the week been treating us so far? Are we good? Are we fine? So during the course of this morning's analysis, I'm going to be starting or covering commodity currencies. By that, I mean I'll be looking at NZD USD, AUD USD, and USD CAD, after which my colleague Demola is going to come on board and do his analysis on indices. So before we proceed, my markup on USD CAD is still on the chart from last week, and you'd see that the different points of interest on USD CAD are still very much there. We had marked out this zone looking for what price was going to do. It was either it was going to find or break above these zones to keep buying, or come and retest this level, give us a confirmation to sell. And just like we discussed, it did just that. USD CAD did about 50 pips on from our analysis as at last week Thursday. Okay, but that has now passed. Those of us who took advantage of that particular analysis, we made money. I am one of them. So today I'm going to be looking at USD CAD, NZUSD, AUD as I already mentioned. Let us see what the market has in store for us today. Let's start off with the AUD asset class, starting from the 4-hour time frame as usual. Now, what am I seeing this asset doing? Price has been kind of chopping but to the upside, gave us a change of character around the zone. And so far, it's been looking like price is gradually respecting our structure, but to the downside. We've not seen a break above this particular level for AU to the upside. So just having that at the back of our mind. Now, I now see that the sunshine has been printed around here. So this sell was expected and it sold. Now, where is it selling into? Where do we expect price to find support and either continue to buy or violate that zone and keep digging deeper? I'm going to go ahead and draw out my basic points of interest on the higher time frame. The first one, it's most of the time a zone rather than a specific price point. So this is my first zone of interest. But let's go ahead. So for the sake of those of us who don't have the indicators, you can just pay attention to this price area. So 0.64901 is our POI1. Then I'll go ahead and mark out the second point of interest, which is 0.65103. Now, price is moving with so much volume to the downside. Look at this candlestick. See how thick this is, right? So if price eventually taps into this particular level, is it going to find support? Only one way to find out, when price eventually gets into that zone. Okay, so this is what I'm looking out for on H1. I'm expecting that price is going to sell in here. If support is held, we may see AUD continue to buy. If not, then the H4 lower lows, lower highs I earlier highlighted would be continued to the downside. But if this support holds, then we may see a swing that will take out this level point for us to now say, okay, AUD wants to continue with the major structure, which is to the upside. Is this clear so far? Do you have any questions based off what I just discussed on AU before we move into the others? Any questions so far? So while that is now happening, let's go to the M5 time frame and mark out even more recent point of interest. I'll be interested in seeing what price does at those levels. What are they? There are 4 basic levels we always mark out. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low, day before yesterday's high, and day before yesterday's low, which basically serve as support resistance in this market for us. So yesterday's high and low has been marked out, day before yesterday's low, and day before yesterday's high also marked out. Price violated through all of these M5 levels of interest, broke through clean. So now we now know that we're heavily relying on the H1 POI. When price approaches this zone and we see a confirmation on M1, then it is a good sign that AUD wants to start to buy. If not, and this zone gets violated, we're going to be headed for the next point of interest, which is 0.64901. That's basically it for AU. NZD/USD, what do we see from the H4 time frame as usual? Now, major structure is to the upside from the 28th of March. But looking at what price has been doing since June, it's been forming structures to the downside, right? So sunshine printed, the sell was expected. We'll go on H1 to mark out our POIs. But what I'm seeing now on NZD/USD is that this point of interest has been violated as well to the downside, right? It is currently in a zone that could serve as support. Also pay attention to the previous resistance level here that price is currently trading off of. So is it going to be a resistance turn support kind of move from here? We're going to be watching. Go to the M5 time frame now. And on the M5 time frame, what we want to do is to mark out the same POIs that we always mark out every time. The same point of interest you always mark out. That is yesterday's high, low, day before yesterday's high and low. Is this helpful to anyone? Are you following my thought process or is it confusing? Please let me know. Just leave a comment in the chat box. Do you see where NZD/USD sell clicked from, right? So if we were early on the chart or earlier than now, we would have caught this sell for sure. Too clean, too clean. So yesterday's high and low has been marked out. Day before yesterday's high and low will also be marked out here, right? So price has now broken below all of them and it has gone back to retest yesterday and day before yesterday's low. Hence why we saw this beautiful sell. This is what we call a beautiful sell because look at how beautifully it just went down. Right. So now that we've seen this, what am I now thinking NZD/USD will do? Because it has violated the first point of interest on the H1 time frame, it is giving more signs that NZD/USD will just continue to dig deeper until we see the new sunshine printed. For those of us who are students of the Forex Bootcamp course, you know that when sunshine is printed, then a particular move is starting to wear out. So because we currently do not have a sunshine printed right now on H4 and price has violated our H1 POI, it is likely that we'll see more sales of NZD/USD till a new sunshine on the H1 time frame is printed. And when that new sunshine is printed, it will give us insights that the sell we're currently seeing on NZD/USD is gradually wearing out. And even if we're still riding that move, we're going to be on the more cautious side. By that, I mean not going in for too much, like 100 pips or 200 pips, thereabouts. So finally, for USD CAD, let's focus on what the market has in store today. So I'll go ahead and just quickly delete last week's markup because it has delivered what it was supposed to. So sunshine printed, the buy was expected. Sunshine just gives you insight that it's going to be a retracement. I think I already stated that it's going to be a retracement or an eventual reversal, meaning breaking through all of these zones. So now the buy has happened. Mark out my POIs on the H1 time frame. Mark them out. The first one has been violated. The only one hanging around on H1 USD CAD is the 1.38172. So am I going to see a temporal sell, a retracement that will now, eventually give us that leg that will trade above? Only one way to find out. Let's go on M5. On M5, the same thing, mark out yesterday's high and low. These highs and lows are just resistance and support levels that we want to see what price will do. When you have a situation where resistance don't support, then what are we looking for? A possible buy. If you have support and resistance, a possible sell. If support holds, buy continues. If resistance holds, sell. That's basically what it means. Hence why we're drawing these different zones here. So I've now gone ahead to mark out these levels. Yesterday's low, day before yesterday's low, yesterday's high, and day before yesterday's high. Look at that. Where did price come to retest before we saw that move upward? We saw it was day before yesterday's high. So everything you see on the chart, I know the indicators may be or it may look a lot like a lot, because for some of us who are used to technical analysis, this is a lot to look at. And I totally understand that. That's why I like calling out the price point, so that you can now take advantage of those levels and mark them out on your chart. And if you happen to see more confluence with how you trade, you take them. And if you want to take advantage of what I'm discussing, by all means, do that, right? So a retest of the zone, price has now violated it to the upside. So if price comes and gives us a quick retracement, either into the zone or all the way down here, then this may now come and give us that final move that will trade USD CAD all the way into the next point of interest. However, if price trades below and violates all of these different zones that could have acted as support or resistance, depending on, what we want to see, in this case, resistance, turn, support, or it violates and breaks below everything and keeps trading lower, then we could say USD CAD will continue to sell. So for now, on USD CAD, basically all of them actually, I'm waiting for more confirmations to see what they do, but my bias remains the same. Quick recap for AUD USD, what did I say I was looking out for? Because sunshine has been printed here, even let's look at the H4 quickly. We saw this price retraced. It has now traded into a POI. We're saying that we want to see a support. If a support level is held, we're going to be looking for buy opportunities of AUD USD. If a support level gets violated, then it's safe to say the sell has resumed and would by all means continue with the market doing that. On NZD H4 sunshine printed, we expected the retracement. The retracement violated what could have served as support. So I'm now saying that because of this, it is likely we're going to see a temporal buy of NZUSD into this zone, which is somewhere around 0.58904. And then it's going to continue to sell downward, or it's going to violate and start to trade. Regardless, me, I'm making money from this market. I always say that's why the name of this strategy is all weather, because regardless of what the market does, provided my confirmation criteria is met, I'm leaving here with something. So that's basically it for NZUSD, AUD and USD CAD. I believe we don't have too much of an high-impact news release coming out today. Let's quickly look at that to see, is there any high-impact news release that will come and shake up the market? Today is the 2nd of September, and the only news release we have that can impact what we're looking at is one coming out on the dollar by 3 p.m., which is ISM Manufacturing PMI. So we're going to see what this does. What does this measure? It measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the manufacturing industry. So why is it important to us traders? It is a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers, well, this is a lot of English. The usual effects of ISM manufacturing PMI is if what was forecasted, which is 48.9, what now eventually comes out greater than this, then we see more trends going to the USD. So actual greater than forecast, actual greater than forecast is good for the dollar. So if this comes out greater than, more strength may go into USD, and of course we know how it will now impact the commodity currencies we're looking at, since they are dollar correlated. If it comes out lower than expected, we also know what to look out for. All right, so that's pretty much it for the asset classes I am looking at. We're going to move into the second half, which covers indices. Let me know if you have any questions at this point before we proceed into the second half. Hi, Fumi. Good morning, ma'am. Adi, hi. Ezekiel. See, I'm starting to know everyone's names. There are some names that show up every day that I now know. Hi, Mr. Jaffet. Good to have you here as well. Mr. David Awonaro is a new name. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Nadi. Good morning for me. Okay, so let me not take too much more of our time. This is supposed to last for 30 minutes, and this is currently 8:45. So let's take a short break and move into the second half, which will be covering indices, and then we can wrap up this morning's market call to reconvene at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. All right. So thank you so much for joining. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Cheers and God bless.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of today's market color session. How are we doing? Hope our day is going well. And okay, give me a minute or two. All right. I believe you can see me and hear me now. Okay. All right, quickly we'll be looking at the US market. That's US 30, NAS 100, and S&P 500. We'll be looking at what those markets are doing this morning and then able to make quality trade setup from what we have. So quickly, let's zoom to the chart. Okay, we've been seeing some, I think there's a news release this morning. Yeah, news release. Because the market has been selling off, although not US 30, but then currency market has been selling off, especially GBP or GBP related pair. GP sold off this morning, GBP USD. Let's look at US 30, start with US 30. Okay. On the daily time frame, what can we see? You can see that overall we are what? We are bullish, right? We are bullish to the upside. You can see market structure. Market structure is suggestive that we are bullish, right? And then what do we have here? We have some areas that have not been mitigated yet on the daily time frame, which is this zone here. You have this zone. I want to believe this is a strong zone. Why do I consider it a strong zone? Because of some things. We have a failure swing here. Now, what do I mean by that? So you don't get confused. Higher highs, right? Higher lows, higher high, higher low, and price failed to create a new higher high. Instead, what do we create? A lower high, and then it's coming back. So we expect that if price comes here, it's going to take out this, use this as inducement, tap into this other block and clear out this failure swing like liquidity here, and then continue into original direction, right? Those are my bias this morning. However, we still have another area beneath here that has not been mitigated before, right? This is a very strong and valid area for price to come back. Has not been mitigated before, but then the nearest, we'll be using the nearest point of interest or area of interest, which is this. We have this to serve as our inducement, right, in this market. So this is what my daily directional bias looks like. We've broken everything. You have cleared everything that's supposed to be cleared here. And then we have areas around the zone that price can tap into and then continue to the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, what am I seeing? On the 4-hour time frame, it's very clear. The failure swing is now clear. Price tried, failed, tried again, and then failed to the downside, right? And there are two opportunities today to catch from this zone. If for any reason price retrace a bit, I'm going to sell from this area down into this other block on the daily time frame, right? But then on the 4-hour time frame, nothing really special in terms of clarity that we have. This area have been mitigated, right? This other block has been mitigated. So for that reason, I don't expect this area to hold at all. I expect it to fail and then tap into a lower level below. In the 2-hour time frame, let's see if we have anything significant. Nothing significant. So I expect a free fall into this zone, a free fall into this zone. So on the 2-hour time frame, seeing that yes, we have another block here, significant, and also another block here. Let me put on 1-hour time frame and see if it's more clear. Okay, for the sake of what I'm saying now, I would want to go with this other block. Let me mark out this entire zone, right? So I would want to buy from this other block for my buy bias. For my sell bias, right? Meaning price tap, because we've broken structure now. We've broken structure. It's just about 7 more minutes for price to close, and then a new hour candle forms. If we reject from this zone rapidly to the upside before this 6 minutes ends, then I might want to reconsider my bias of selling. Most likely price will just continue. Or if price continues selling like this with this volume and intensity, then I will expect a retracement. There should be a breaker block around this zone. Yeah. So what would I want to do? I want to start selling from this. Price might use this breaker block. Update has been tested before, but can still be tested again. Price can tap into this breaker block and then boom to the downside. Well, my ultimate TP will be, my first TP will be at least here. Second TP will be somewhere here, and then third, no, I don't want to even buy. I don't want to sell into this zone because you don't know what price can do. Can be a simple week of this zone and then continue to the upside, right? So I expect that market sells from here. Something like this, most likely might not come all the way to this other block again before continuing its movement. And then first take profit, this 1:4, kind of 1:4, and second take profit is this zone 1:6, right? Leveraging that on 94, 95, we're going to make some level of killing in this market, money, right? So this is what I'm expecting this morning. For any reason we see a sharp, let's just lead several scenarios. If for any reason we see another sharp, retracement, say price after closing, right, retrace heavily again, then the first case scenario is this breaker block here. The second case scenario is price reacting from this, what's it called now? Let me just put this here. Second case scenario is price reacting from the entire other block and then dropping off. This is what to try. This is 1:10, right? So you have two areas of interest, either this breaker block or this other block. Usually when we see a sharp drop like that in momentum, what happens next is that price is going to just tap into the breaker block and then continue because of that strong momentum that price is coming with. But then if for any reason we see enough retracement, say 80% retracement back into this zone, then you can as well take trades from the other block. Either ways, we are 6.2 R here and then 10.6 R here. So it's a good trade. But then don't get caught in the entire sell because we are selling into this region on the daily time frame, right? Price selling into this region on the daily time frame, and then from this region, we buy again to continue direction. This is it, right? Sell into this and then take our buys to continue the initial direction, and then price for it to clear liquidity on this higher time frame. All right, let's move to the second pair, which is US 100. US 100 also, look at the price action we have. We've been bullish for a while. Price did what? Broke structure and then created a new higher high and then higher low, and we expect this guy to create higher high, but this is looking as though it's a failure swing, right? It's a failure swing, but because it has failed to create a new higher high. And then we have this area here that's not been tested before, not been mitigated before. Price is currently testing that area. So quickly, let's rush to the 4-hour time frame. Do we have anything there that could send price to the upside? Yes, we do. Which is this other block here that I'm seeing. We'll capture this entire. So, okay. And this other block has been mitigated because this taps into it and then boom to the upside. This one has not been mitigated yet. All right, so let's look at what we have on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, this other block has been mitigated by this. This has been mitigated by this, but then on the 1-hour time frame, it still looks as though it has not been mitigated. All right, so what would I do in this scenario? What would I do? We have two areas of interest, two valid areas of interest. The first and the second. These are two valid points of interest this morning. No time frame. Okay. This looks more valid. This area looks more valid. All right. Though on the 1-hour time frame, this area still looks valid. But then from what I'm seeing, you can as well just split our risks into two. Take one buy from here, take another buy from here. All right. Take one buy from here and then another buy from this second level on the 1-hour time frame, right? This other block here and this other block, right? It has not been mitigated before, so, and it's an origin, very valid origin. So you could as well just one buy from this zone, and then where's our target? Our target should be this failure swing, at least this failure swing here. Our first target. And from there, if we see another, what's it called now? If we see enough momentum push, we can come to clear all of this areas here, this area of liquidity around this zone. But from what we have this morning, looking at objective area that price could take out, this is what we have, right? All right. So I'll be looking at this, although this one looks a bit dicey, but then unlike US 30, that is very clear. One area here and that area here, I'll be watching all of them this morning, just so I'm able to take good trades from it. On the daily time frame, also we have the same thing. Okay, this is interesting. We have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So we expect price to fly from this zone. Interesting. This area have not been mitigated. So most likely might just leave US 100 and then focus on US 30 and S&P 500. That's US 500, right? Because we have this here on the daily time frame. Price has broken structure to the upside, and if until price changes direction, we continue buying, right? So all of these areas have been mitigated. You can see all these areas have been mitigated, all of them. We have inducement here, price giving us an inducement. Then we have this area of this other block that's not been tested before. Coming to the 4-hour time frame, do we have any area of interest? Any solid area of interest? Not really. This looks like it. This one is entire hidden because there's an hidden other block here. This looks like it, but then put on a 2-hour time frame. Say something hidden here. Okay. You have this one. This other block looks very tiny. Okay. 1-hour time frame. Okay, almost the same thing with what we have on US 100. I'll prefer to take a chance on this. Let me mark this entire area. Okay, for today, the way I'll be entering this trades today is just splitting my rigs into two. And then my first entry will be this zone, second entry will be this zone, right? For any reason price, so that I don't miss out on this trade due to over refinement. I'm just going to take my first entries from this, and then if for any reason I'm stopped out, then my second entry will be from this zone. And ultimately, where are we heading to? This. All right. This should be our take profit, TP1, right, for this morning. So this is what I'm looking at from higher time frame perspective, except structure now changes entirely, and that's fine. But then with what I'm seeing on this in this market this morning, I expect market to fly from this zone, expect a bullish movement from this zone, right? Because we don't have any area that's not been mitigated. Again, all the areas they have been mitigated, all of them, all except for this. If price comes back to this zone, then we can sell off into this. So price comes into this zone, can sell off into this to start buying again to the upside. I hope we get what I'm trying to say. Price, which I'm most likely price will not come back here, but price comes back into this other block, sell, exit, buy from this, and then ultimately you're targeting this, right? You have enough inducement already. So that's what I'm looking at for this morning. It's a good place to ask a question. If you have any question, please can ask a question in the comment section. And if you understand the analysis, just let me know in the comment section. Adi, Admin, David, Ezekiel, Fumi, Jefta, Olutayo, do we have any question so far? Do we have any questions so far? On US 30, NAS 100, this is what I have for US 30 this morning. Price has closed below, meaning closed as a very strong bullish. This is a break of structure. So we could as well expect that price is going to, come into this zone and then see that drop to the downside, right? Yeah. No question from me, sir. All right, thank you so much for joining this morning. We'll be meeting again by 2 p.m. in the afternoon for the New York session, and then we'll see how price has played out. All our area of interest that we've marked out, we'll see exactly how price played out in those areas, and then we can make sense of them all. If there's anything new, we can readjust our bias, and if price has taken has gotten to our area of interest, would as well pull the trigger and start selling off or buying, depending on the case. We meet. All right. Thank you so much for joining this morning. We'll meet again. Until next time, cheers and God bless, guys.